right, thanks for tuning in. For today's video, I'm going to show you how I make worms. I don't know if you can tell, it's overcast. We've got this massive cold front blowing in. Rained a little bit this morning, so I figured while fishing was a little slow, I would go ahead and show you how I make worms. A little disclaimer, there's a lot of guys on YouTube who do a lot better job of making worms than me. I tend to keep things simple. I want to do it quickly so I can spend more time fishing and less time making worms. So I'm also going to show you a couple of fish that I catch using these worms after I make them. But stay tuned. First thing, you got to get your Plastisol. There's a million different companies out there that make it. You got to shake it up. You want it well mixed, otherwise your worms will not turn out right. So stay tuned while I shake this for the next 5 minutes. So a couple of things you're going to need. You're going to need a microwave. I have a microwave, an old microwave that's just dedicated to making worms. I don't think you'd want to eat food after you've had all these chemicals from this Plastisol floating around in there. I use a Pyrex measuring thingamajiggy glass. For the purposes of today's video, just going to do a straight tail worm mold. You want to clamp it shut, otherwise your Plastisol will be squeezing out everywhere. Make sure you have gloves, something to stir the Plastisol with once you heat it up. You're going to need an injector, which I have here. A little bit of water. When my worms get done, I'll put them in the water to help them set up. And for today's video, I'm not using any color whatsoever in my Plastisol. It's going to be clear. I'm going to let my glitter be all the color that we need. And I'm going to be using black and blue, a couple different colors of blue. All right, so I know the lighting is probably not the best out here, especially with it being overcast. But harder than it looks to do these kind of videos and make them look good. But I'm just going to do a small batch just for the video, but I am out of this particular color of worm, so just poured up 4 ounces. Another thing you should do is wear a respirator. I'm not doing it today just for the video so I can talk, but this stuff, as it heats up, it has their fumes and it will make you dizzy. Anyway, put it in the old microwave. You don't want to heat it all at once. Heat it maybe 30-45 seconds. I usually start with a minute, then take it out, stir it, do it for another 30 seconds, take it out, stir it. If you don't do that, it will burn. It'll just turn yellow and it's not good. Ah, the smell already. That's not what I wanted. So I'm only going to go 30 seconds on this time. The color I'm making is very good on any lake, but particularly Lake Lanier. So I'm giving you that. It's a very good color. Okay, here's a good example of what happens when you heat it too long. See how it's kind of yellow? So I'm going to have to throw that batch out and start over. Stay tuned. It will sneak up on you. You get too hot very quickly. Just my luck. Just a little bit more. I am doing this outside, just so you know. It's good to have ventilation. I'm already getting a little woozy. Do have a little bit of a breeze blowing through here. So now we're going to just add our color, which is just flake. A couple different colors of blue. And then a little bit of black. All right, now these are not the right kind of gloves, but they're better than nothing. Pour it into your injector. And you just now we're just going to let that set up for a minute, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. All right, I'm taking my clamps off. Okay, I'm going to try to do this. How am I going to do this? Kind of hard to do one-handed. Stand by. Put this back in here. Hopefully it's showing. So I'm opening, well, I'm trying to open it up. Man, I need a cameraman. So this is what the worm looks like. Hopefully you can see it. And it's starting to rain again. One tip is you really don't want to make the worms or any plastics when it's raining. It's humid. It does mess with the plastic. It leaves air pockets. So you have this little, this is what comes out looking like, and you just want to tear them off of this little thingamajiggy, and you could remelt that. You can remelt that. Also in your injector, you're going to have the same kind of deal. Now all of this stuff costs money, of course, but to me, stick with the basics. This is it's a black and blue worm. Set up pretty good. That'll catch fish right there. I like it. Just going through the same process again here. You're only limited by your imagination here. You can use any colors you want, but you got to use colors that the fish want, you know. So I'm just going to let that set up, and I'm going to go get a breath of fresh air. Here we have our second pouring, and I believe that's all I'm going to get done today. It's starting to rain, and that's not good for pouring worms. So there you have it. That's how I make my worms. I don't get too fancy with it. This time of year, especially when things are tough, we got the lakes turning over. If I can't catch them on anything else, I can always catch a few on a worm. I use a Texas rig. A lot of people prefer a shaky head. I do not. I don't even use one shaky. For those of you who don't know what a shaky head is, it's basically a jig head that a worm goes on. I use a Texas rig. I usually use an 1/8 ounce weight. I got a glass bead in between the weight and the hook, and that's what I catch them on. I enjoy fishing a worm. A lot of people don't because it's kind of slow, or it can be slow. You got to have some patience, but you can always catch a few on a worm. When fishing gets slow, the old Texas rig worms save the day many a time. Oh, wouldn't you know it? So there's lots of different dyes. You can make the worms all kinds of different colors. I've just found on lakes like Lanier that are pretty clear, just a clear worm with different colors of glitter or metal flake, whatever you want to call it, is very, very good at catching fish, because every little bait fish has a little reflective scales, and I believe the glitter kind of mimics the bait fish, you know, the reflection from those scales. But anyway, that's in a nutshell a quick version of how I make worms. At some point I'm going to show you, I'm going to do a video of how I make molds. I make my own molds. I'll use clay, and I'll modeling clay, and I make whatever it is you want to make. I'm kind of working on you see me catch a lot of fish on the jig and fluke. I'm kind of working on a fluke style bait that I can pour my own here. So I'm going to show you how I do that at some point, as soon as I get time. These videos take a lot more time than you would think to make, and to make them look good. And I know I don't make them look that great, but I'm working on it. But thanks for watching. Give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time.